defensive player in the world, Paul Newland. Number 5, Anthony Sullivan. Number 6 is Carl Hammond. And one of the biggest men in the game, number 8, Apollo Perolini. Number 9, the flying hooker, Kieran Cunningham. Number 17 is Andy Leatham. The Australian, number 16, Derek McVie. Number 12 is Simon Booth. And one of the famous players at Saints, number 11, Chris Jones.
So the two sides are just about ready now for this battle of two of the top 4. Steve Presley is this evening's referee. St Helens, top of the table, 100%. London Broncos, third, before Warrington overtook them this afternoon temporarily. We will be underway here in just a few moments' time for this match live and exclusive here on Sky Sports. Sean McRae, the club coach here, receiving a special presentation from Saints chairman Eric Ashton. A Silk Cut Challenge Cup winners medal goes to the Saints, who have taken part in the competition but didn't figure in the Wembley presentation. McRae gets the medal along with winger Joey Hayes and loose forward Dean Busby. Big night then for Sean McRae. Big night also for St Helens as they try and protect this 100% record. The Broncos get us underway here at Knowsley Road, and the teams, St Helens have Prescott, Arnold, Gibbs, Newlove, Sullivan, Hammond and Goulding. Forwards Perolini, Cunningham, Leatham, McVie, Booth and Joint. Subs Hunt, Martin, Matautia and Pickavants. London, Barwick at fullback, Minto, Roskill, Tollett and Paul. McRae and Langer. Forwards Mestrov, Ray and Shaw. Rosalind, Bryant and Gill. On the bench, Borden, Pitt, Dinover and Brown. Coach Tony Curry. Half a minute gone, 5 tackles completed. Kicked through by St Helens. Underneath it is John Minto, but he's letting it bounce all the way to his own try line. Trying to now run through Paul Newlove, and Newlove stood there firm as a rock.
Another good kick there from Bobby Goulding, and the chase was excellent. John Minto had to turn around nearly into the in-goal area.
Opening minute of this match here, and Scott Roskill greeted by Cunningham and Gibbs. The Welsh double act. This now is Justin Bryant. Tony Ray, the skipper in it, acting halfback. He gets the pass away to Darren Shaw. Ray is there again to direct operations from the play the ball. Broncos penned inside their own half. Mestrov, 12 metres inside his half, gets the ball back to Barwick, the full-back, and Barwick sees a big space over on the right-hand side and drifts the ball over the top and into touch.
Good set of 6 there by London. Use their big forwards to make it nearly to the halfway line. That it allowed the opportunity for the full-back Greg Barwick to make sure that they could get plenty of distance. Now they've got to apply the pressure and hope that Saints come up with a mistake.
Goulding feeds the scrum, gets the possession back. That's Hammond. And he runs through the challenge of Tollett, almost, but Tollett, to his credit, kept hold of his bootlaces. Referee says play on, even though the play the ball was messy. Perolini is grounded.
Good tackle by tremendous tackle by Justin Bryant there. There's a big man to pull down. And straight away you feel that St Helens are using the big fella Perolini out wide.
Here's Andy Leatham.
They're not going to use him in heavy traffic down the middle. They know, St Helens, that London have a big pack too. Maybe not in height, but they're certainly strong.
Good play from Joint. He gets it away to Newlove, who plucks the ball out of the air. Newlove's on the way. Such a difficult man to bring down. Eventually, 3 Broncos do the job. Cunningham at dummy half. Goulding, scampering run, dabs it through. Junior Paul's over there, and Junior Paul, the winger in a defensive role, had nowhere to go. 3 men hammered him.
This is where Goulding is superb. He took one as well from Justin Bryant, I think it was, that went through. But look at this, the weight on that. Deary me, Junior Paul and the chase. A kick is only as good as the chase, and that man found out. Leading that chase was Danny Arnold. What a great season he's having.
Steve Prescott, Justin Bryant getting through some work in the tackling early on here. Darren Shaw helping him out. Cunningham, the acting halfback. Joint reverse pass to Perolini, didn't read it right, and Justin Bryant has the ball back.
They'll play the first knock on. Well, they tried the switch. Coming back on the inside. There's Bryant, 14. That was the mistake that London were looking for.
First knock on was St Helens. Langer feeds the scrum, gets the ball out of that scrum, of course.
Pretty late there, Chris Joint. Could have been caught for a flop. Oh, that looked high as well, and he's picked it. Booth has been caught. Straight over the top. Well, we can do without that early in the game. Okay, I know the players are fired up, but Booth just sliding in over the top of the shoulder. Well, a bad mistake and a silly penalty that allows London to launch their attack.
Strong run from Mestrov there, and Tony Ray at dummy half gives the ball to Shaw. Good ground made by Shaw again. He's now within 15 metres of the line. Little Langer now will try and open something up here, and so will Tollett. That's a great tackle by the 2 big men, Booth and Joint, in very quickly.
Joint put his body on the line, and they're going to have to tackle pretty hard, and there you see Bobby Goulding straight into his opposite number, Kevin Langer. What a clash that's going to be throughout.
Duncan McRae gets the ball to Barwick, the fullback who's chimed in. He slipped through Newlove, and was that a try? The corner flag went down, the referee checks, and then he gives the try to the Broncos. And Greg Barwick, well, he's only just come back into the side after hamstring problems, but what a start.
A bad mistake, then they gave away the silly penalty. It was a beautiful run by Darren Shaw that got him to this position, and Paul Newlove missing the tackle. He chimed in well. Look at this from the prop forward. This guy really was motoring. He must have made 45, 50 metres, and from it, McRae misses Tullett. And look how he goes through there. I'm afraid the most expensive football in the world has to tackle a bit better than that. Paul Newlove was all at sea. He didn't get into the right position. The target he missed has just got 4 points.
So Barwick scored the try, and Sean McRae, the St Helens coach, will not be too happy with the start that his side have made on the scoreboard anyway. Barwick now takes over the goal-kicking responsibilities. Matteson is out suspended, as we say. It's been a problem area for the Broncos, in truth, the kicking of goals. Barwick now with the opportunity, with 8 goals under his belt already. Yeah, that's got chances. Oh, that's got more than chances. That's a great kick from the touchline from Greg Barwick, the fullback.
There you see Newlove is looking at the wrong man. He should have been, he was too late. Xiao just came up that way, but his body language showed that he was going to miss him.
Barwick with the try then. He's come back from the hamstring problem. He tore it against Paris at Easter. This is his first match back and his first try in Super League. He restarts. It's been the Greg Barwick show for the last 2 or 3 moments. Newlove trapped the ball with his foot, picked it up and ran it out. Mistake from Newlove that led to the try. He will be anxious to atone for the error. St Helens being crowded up the middle by this London Broncos team at the moment.
Well, they showed against Leeds last week in the second half that they are capable of... Oh, nice run by McVie, but he's got a ball away in traffic. And that surely will be a knock-on.
Referee takes a look at the touch judge, who confirms Steve-O's view.
Well, he tried to spin it there, but you can see that Duncan McRae got himself in between the man and the player, and that was enough to put them off, and he'd lost control there.
So Broncos back in possession once again, and this is Roskill. He gets the ball away to Tollett. Paul Newlove this time didn't miss. That's Roslin, Steve Roslin, signed a long time ago, January 1992, 4 years with the Broncos. Bryant taking over again, looked impressive early on here. Peter Gill now, 2 tries last week against Leeds.
Well, he was the man that really lifted the Broncos out of the doldrums. It looked as though they were in for a hammering against Leeds, but he was the man that tried hard, and that's a bad pass, but they've got away with it.
McRae picked up the pieces, the ball went backwards, he slipped away from Booth.
Well, Saints are missing the tackles.
Langer, Justin Bryant drops it though, and Goulding picks up the bits for Saints.
Bad mistake there by Justin Bryant. He thought he was going to... This is where the man on the inside, they brought Tollett on the inside, that they made a mess, but Justin Bryant thought he was going to be the dummy runner. Kevin Langer launched it to him. Well, it'll be a relief Saints outfit after that, because they were all at sea in defence. And I'm sure that their coach, Sean McRae, will have sent the message out, come on, lift it. More effort is needed.
McVie picks himself up, plays the ball. This is Scott Gibbs. Scott Gibbs, good run upfield.
Tremendous short ball, and he went for it. You could see that London was slow getting back into the line.
High hanging kick from Goulding. Patted back by Steve Prescott. This is still the last tackle. Joint out the back door to Booth. Booth all wrapped up, and that's the turnover. St Helens called in possession on the last tackle.
Good play by Tony Mestrov there and Kevin Langer. They made sure that they couldn't get that ball away. Terry-like tackling, but I think the message will have gone out to St Helens, especially with the kick of Bobby Goulding. You could see that London didn't want to have anything to do with that high ball, and I think we all know about Bobby Goulding's bombs over the last couple of weeks.
10 minutes gone. Great start for London Broncos. In possession here again with Bryant. Good tackling though that time from St Helens. Peter Gill carries the ball over the halfway line once again.
Much better defence there. The Saints line came up as one.
Barwick, another little drifting kick over the top, making Prescott retreat. He's in the in-goal area. He will use his pace to get out of there, and does well. But a super chase again from the Broncos.
Oh, tremendous stuff there. Kick and chase, and you could see when Barwick let go of the ball, he kicked it so that the ball was going to spin backwards. And it was a good chase by Scott Roskill.
Danny Arnold has drifted in off his wing and is helping out at the middle. Here's Carl Hammond now. Broncos hunting in 2s and 3s in the tackle. Saints finding it difficult to get going. They might here with Cunningham. Crowd are angry about... Referee Steve Presley is unimpressed. Ball dumped over the far side. Arnold! Oh, he thought about the pass inside and saw that the man there was Junior Paul and held on. Here's another high-hanging kick from Goulding. Is Barwick interested this time? It comes to Prescott, and Junior Paul has picked up the loose ball.
Play on, it came off a Saints player, and once again we see that London having problems with the bomb. Bobby Goulding, it'll be going through the brain box. 2 bad attempts from the Broncos. Let's continue on with the ploy. He knows it'll pay off eventually.
Oh, that's a great tackle by Parolini on Bryant. Ray switches the direction of the attack to Darren Shaw. Last one for the Broncos. 39 metres made. Langer, they're running it. Now they will kick with Tollett. Tollett in towards the corner, but it runs the other side of the corner post, so it's in touch, in goal.
Good basic football from the Broncos. Hard running from the forwards, then the switch out wide, and a little dink, little kick down into the corner. Just a little bit too long there. But the game plan is working for the Broncos.
Leatham carrying the ball up and almost getting through the tackle, nearly slipping the shackles of Darren Shaw. McVie up to the halfway line for Saints. Cunningham scampering from dummy half, as he's done so much this season already. But good defence down below.
Tremendous run from the hooker, but the big problem is there's no support.
Oh, great break from Goulding. Support is there, but Peter Gill got a hand to it, and an important touch too.
I'm sure that Peter Gill would have called for that, but he did well to get inside. But what a great break. Well, that's the best passage of play by the Saints so far. Big runs from the forwards, a lot of determination, and a little dummy from Goulding. It's the first time we've seen him take on the defence. 13
minutes gone, an interesting match so far. You get the feeling that it's warming up to be another Super League classic here on Sky Sports tonight. The Broncos seeking a third consecutive win. They've won 2 of their 4 away games so far, and already that's as good as they did throughout the centenary season. And this is the dream start for them at the 100% league leaders. They're making St Helens turn around with these kicks, aren't they?
The game plan is working extremely well. Of course, the inclusion of Greg Barwick, has got a great kicking game, will certainly help their cause. Of course, they've got Terry Mattison off the field. He was suspended for 2 matches for being sent off last week against Leeds. They'll miss him, but they're certainly working well so far.
It's a very disciplined display from them as yet, although the crowd remain unconvinced about this defensive line. You can hear the slow hand clapping in the background aimed at the referee, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong at all. They'd be jeering if the Broncos side was stood behind the post and still say they were offside. Thankfully, the referee has got enough common sense, Steve Presley, to ignore it.
Prescott came up with the blunder. This now is Minto. Newlove's after him and helped out by Sullivan.
Wasn't that a second knock-on, though, from Peter Gill?
Tullett to Ray. It goes further wide to Roslin. Steve Roslin using his weight. Ray to Bryant again. Great tackle by Cunningham. Finished off in the end by Hammond. Here now is Darren Shaw, looking for Junior Paul, but only found Danny Arnold. But Paul did well to recover, and he could have been penalised there for the second snap.
Well, it took an eternity there, but good work by Danny Arnold. Well, the Broncos now making the mistakes. But St Helens really have to shake themselves. Bobby Goulding has to take control. Nice pass, but what a great tackle.
It was a lovely ball, but it was a great tackle from Gill on Simon Booth. Prescott gives it to Newlove. He brushes away from Tullett. He goes for the gap himself. He steps on the gas, cuts inside, and scores a quite magnificent try. Oh, that was super stuff from Paul Newlove. That's why they paid $500,000 for him. And he is, on his day, a match winner.
Well, he led in the first try, but you can see there the strength. He just said to Tullett, get out of the way. It's a beautiful handoff. Kevin Langer was nowhere near him. Neither was the cover defense. Sheer power and strength. Watch him fend off. Get out of the way. You can see Langer goes through. He was in the right position, but he's such a strong man. Back on the inside. He stepped at the right moment, made sure that Greg Barwick was going to launch himself first. Watch him step now. That's it. Commits the fullback. Oh, wonderful stuff. Superb balance from the man.
Paul Newlove has scored tries in 6 of St Helens' 7 Super League fixtures now, and hat-tricks in his last 2 matches. That's ominous for the Broncos as Bobby Goulding lines up this conversion attempt. Drifts it in. Oh, it's like a beautiful goal shot from Goulding, and he can hit 1 or 2 of those as well, I can tell you. 6-all.
Look there, one man's hanging back. You've got to move up straight line. And that meant he was going to go on the outside. Kevin Langer couldn't get to him. Sheer strength, but look at this. Oh. Like a bullfight in Spain. The ball went charging into the crowd. And the Matador scores.
He is now the Super League's leading scorer on his own. Paul Newlove. Deep kick-off from Goulding. Underneath it is Gill. Well, level pegging now. And Bobby Goulding is trying to get his players going here for a big effort. Really having a go at them then. Ray, a dummy half. And this now is Darren Shaw.
Talking about having a go. The Australian Derek McVie was lucky to get away with that one. That really was a big arm swinger. Not spotted by the referee, Steve Presley. Good tackle.
Great tackle.
This man really works, doesn't he, Darren Shaw? He's only short to the ground, but... Well, the idea was there. You could see the ball being kicked backwards. Great exponent of the kick, Barwick. He kicks with a point of the foot so that the ball spins backwards. Didn't get away with it on that occasion.
Here's Danny Arnold. He's seen Paul Newlove overtake him now in the Super League try-scoring stakes. Wonder if the player of the month for April will respond. Scott Gibbs. Interesting, Steve, when you announced Scott Gibbs' name, there was a few boos around this ground. No doubt that's reaction to the fact that Eric Ashton has confirmed in the newspapers this morning that Gibbs wants to leave rugby league and go back to rugby union, which is amazing, really. Sullivan with a great run, but Tony Ray with a good tackle on the St Helens winger. Goulding kicks the ball, looking for the speedster. That's Arnold. Oh, they'll have to be quick. Arnold's got it. He nearly got the try as well, but they just held him short. Goulding screaming for the ball this way. They've gone out wide, and the man has been bundled into touch. There's an almighty thump from that far side. Desperate defence.
Nice switch on the blind side. It was McVie. But what great cover defence. Nice kick, though, from Bobby Goulding. I'm afraid they were very slow again, London. They're having a real nightmare with a kick. And Bobby Goulding will tease them all day. Getting back to that Scott Gibbs situation, you can hardly say that the crowd are not going to give him the bird when you openly admit you want to leave someone.
But I find it amazing that with still so much to prove for me in the game at 25, great player though he is, he wants to leave all this behind, because there's a feeling that Saints are on the verge of something, and something big too. But Gibbs doesn't seem to want much to do with it.
Well, let's just hope. I mean, it took him an eternity to make up his mind to come to league in the first place. It was the best on-off affair for about 3 years. I think I can remember at one point he was supposed to be going to Hull. He was halfway up the motorway in a taxi and then turned back. It's got to be forward.
Yes, mile forward, the pass. Sullivan had no chance. You can see just how far forward that was.
Even the crowd underneath this commentary gantry, who I can assure you are very strong St Helens fans, will have to agree with that. Only just, mind you.
I was going to say, only just. Justin Bryant's gone off to be replaced by Russell Borden. Bryant's had a big 20 minutes. So he's obviously taking a spell on the bench. And here immediately is his replacement, Borden, who gets the pass away to McRae. Ball comes back this way with Roskill. Roskill escapes the clutches. The tackle wasn't completed. Prescott tried to bring him down, but Roskill's still going. That's a super run from the London Broncos centre.
But it was wasted. No one supported him. They were farming out wide with the London Broncos to get ready for the play the ball. You've got to be sniffing at the side of him in case he's a half break.
Tony Ray, and stolen the ball there. Simon Booth. It's allowed in Super League. One-on-one, you can steal now.
He just got there in time. Well done. You could see that Cunningham was going to go in to help. But it's all part and parcel of the game. You've got to think quickly, and that's what Booth did.
Chances here now as Cunningham makes ground. What a strong little player he is. 21.5 minutes gone. It's tied up at 6-all. Let's hear from Robbie Paul, who's downstairs on the touchline with Alistair Mann.
Well, Robbie, it really is an intriguing clash. Which way is it going to go?
Well, at the moment, it's all Saints at the moment. Their go-forward players are, having their way. London's defence is really struggling with them at the moment. They're getting into London's 22, and Bobby's putting a lot of pressure with his kicking game.
You know all about that kicking game. It can be the make or break of any side, can't it?
That's the thing. Saints have great pressure. Saints have great pressure when they put through on the kicks, like you can see right now. And on the other hand, London kicks aren't really putting any pressure on Prescott, and that's a very important part of the game. It's so important, the last tackle.
That was a big call by referee Steve Presley, because he looked up and as he saw Prescott's kick. That was not 6 to go, though. This is the Prescott kick here.
Good refereeing there by Steve Presley. And Steve Presley could see there the young winger Danny Arnold was in front of the kicker. And when you're in front of the kicker, you must give the man who is attempting to take the ball 10 metres. You cannot touch him until he has picked up the ball. You've got to allow him the 10 metres shield.
Peter Gill with a lovely inside ball to Borden. Borden down the middle. He's got Peter Gill with him now in support. Oh, Gill looked to go over the shoulder and give it back to Borden. And they've given the possession away. Good play, though, by Arnold. But that was a chance gone begging. But well done in the defence for Saints.
Well, what a super sub he's turning out to be, Russell Borden. A great run there, supported by Peter Gill.
New Love having a real scrap with John Minto. Joint to Hammond. Last tackle. Goulding kicks for the corner. And that will find its way to the touchline. Good kick that time from Goulding.
Well, there you can see the kicker. He's a man that's arrowed. But look how Danny Arnold is so far in front. And that is tremendous refereeing. You can see the referee, Steve Presley, shouting out to the winger, Danny Arnold. But he went deaf on that occasion. Mind you, the cauldron that the Saints fans build here, it really is a pretty hotbed of rugby league. Not only for the opposition, but for the referee. He did well there, Presley.
He did. Well, the initial kick from Goulding bounced back off a London Broncos player, but he didn't make the play for the ball. They were complaining about that, and then they complained about the referee pinning Arnold for offside. But the referee absolutely right on both occasions. But that's a super tackle on Junior Paul by Apollo Perolini. On halfway, he does well. Gets it to Tollett. Minto. Nowhere for him to go. New Love got him in a vice-like grip. Tollett the dummy half. Langer giving it a little bit of air. And the right side of the post this time. Just turned right when it bounced.
Big relief there by the little halfback Kevin Langer. It was a nice kick because he knows that his side really have been put on the rack. But they'll be happy with this. 25 minutes gone. 6-all. Now you see Bobby Goulding's 7 kicks in general play. 3 of them have been high ones as well. And on every occasion, London have been put to the test. They've looked very uncomfortable, haven't they?
And they have, and the big difference is that Langer's only put 1 kick in general play. So Goulding running the show at the moment. Possession's interesting. Nothing much to choose between the two of them. London just shading it, but 6-all on the scoreboard. 26 minutes or thereabouts gone. St Helens seeing a lot more of the ball just now. And out wide it goes to Arnold. Oh, this kid's got some talent, hasn't he? You say that and he drops it.
Well, he tried to spin it through. Was there a fingertip there? No, his knee caught it. But an in and out there by Danny Arnold. Star of the future. Caught a bit of a knee running across the rib cage. That won't help matters. Junior Paul, rather clumsy. But he really is a talent. Beautiful step in and out.
Langer. 10 metres inside his own half. Tollett, dummy half.
See the difference there in defence. The Saints side are moving up now. And Perolini, he shook the ground with that.
Tony Mestrov plays the ball to Ray. They're moving up at pace, and that's Borden. He's had quite an impact since he came on, hasn't he? Russell Borden. And St Helens working hard, Leatham and Goulding to bring him down. Duncan McRae, that's an interesting kick. Oh, and he's got the try. Roskell, Scott Roskell read it perfectly. The bounce, it shot up into the air, and Roskell plucked it out of the air and touched down.
Super bit of play. Langer out wide, over the top. Duncan McRae to perfection, and Roskell finished it off. This is lovely football. You can see that the fullback was coming across. He was in the right position. It just took a bit of a wicked bounce there. But Prescott perhaps just hung off at the last moment. But he won't mind, Scott Roskill. But that was a beautiful kick there. Look how McRae just lobs it through. And yep, you'd have to say that Steve Prescott was just a little bit hesitant on that occasion.
Well, before that try, Scott Roskill was 12 tries short of the club record of 74, set up by Hussein Mbaki. He's been 4 years at London, Scott Roskill, and that's his 4th in Super League. A great try, an inventive kick, and it came off for the Broncos. Now then, Greg Barwick here, who kicked a wonder conversion off the touchline this side earlier, now has the chance to do the same again from about, what, 8-9 metres in from touch on the far side. That's the angle he's got. Saints crowd doing their best to try and give him something to think about. But Barwick is a kicker of some quality. And that's 2 from 2 for Barwick, and London ahead 12-6.
There's a kick, and you can see the man circled, Prescott. He gets to it and then just hesitates at the moment. I know it was a bit of a wicked bounce, but perhaps if he would have gone straight on, he could have got a fingertip to it rather than that man. Well, it's been a fine performance by the London Broncos.
And this rugby league football, Steve-O, it does all sorts of strange tricks when it bounces on firm grounds like this.
You chance your arm, don't you? It's the old story. The harder I work, the luckier I get. And the forwards laid the foundation there, but it was a beautiful kick, wasn't it?
There's McVie again, the big Australian. Trying a goal against Oldham last week for McVie.
They've kept him quiet. They know the man's capabilities. He loves nothing better than to get himself into the tackle. You can see him trying to turn, because that's his, shall we say, the best ability, trying to get the ball away when he attracts 2 and 3 men. But they've wrapped him up well so far of the Broncos. It was great defence.
Let's say this is a very good performance thus far from London Broncos, as try scorer Roskill tries to get away from Prescott again, and then Newlove comes in to help out. John Minto is the dummy half, and that now is Steve Rosalind. Half an hour gone, 12-6. Peter Gill nearly through the gap. Good job that Kieran Cunningham stood his ground, and Apollo Perolini was in there too. Well, Saints are the leading point scorers in the game. At the moment, they're behind by 12 points to 6, and they know, I fancy, that they are in a torrid encounter here, and their record is being put to the sternest of tests. No pressure whatsoever on the number 12, Darren Shaw, but well fielded by Steve Prescott.
There was plenty of pressure on Prescott. He's had a fine season.
Lovely ball from Gibbs, outside to Arnold. And Bobby Goulding is receiving treatment to a shin injury by the looks of things. That would be the last thing that they want for the little general to go off for Saints, but he's in some discomfort. McVie on the halfway line again is dropped by Gill. Goulding still limping. That's ominous for Saints.
Be a bitter blow to them. He's a man that keeps them going, the architect, as we mentioned before the game started.
But he calls all the shots, doesn't he? And although he's obviously at half pace at the moment, there he is now. Hoists a kick with that sore leg and immediately grimaces. They let it bounce. Tony Ray gets it first bounce, but Leatham comes in quickly to cut the Broncos skipper down.
Well, they obviously realised that Junior Paul is having a nightmare, but you could see that Bobby Goulding perhaps is injured because he did not attempt to chase that kick. When Bobby Goulding is fit, as soon as he launches the ball, he's usually downfield there, scampering away as quickly as possible. But what a great game so far from this prop forward, Darren Shaw. He's only small and stocky, but he gets through some work.
Mestrov, the other prop forward, driving the ball over the halfway line. Tony Ray. Langer dabs it through. Langer takes a tumble. Goulding's come across to pick up the pieces. Now, is he fit or not? He's taken on little Langer there, and Langer did well to stand up to him, and then Langer gets a boot in the face. Goulding was trying to get to his feet, and he looks the picture of innocence, but Langer certainly caught one, and I think it's an accident.
Well,
it looks worse than it was, Steve-O, I think.
Try to tell him that to Kevin Langer. He's trying to get there. Tony Ray could have been got for a bit of a flop. And there it is, he lashes out. Well, I think he'll give a penalty for dangerous play. The crowd don't like it. Well, he shakes his head, does Bobby Goulding, which is probably more than what Kevin Langer can do. It'll be painful.
Well, he said, I think, that he was simply trying to get to his feet. And what's more, he told Steve Presley to take a look at our big screen here at Nosey Road and then make his mind up. But, of course, he can't do that, the referee.
Well, he can if he wants to, but it'll make no difference.
No, he's not allowed, Steve.
I know he's not allowed to, but they do. They have a little sneaky look.
Oh, ye of little faith. Gibbs is after the loose ball. Junior Paul gets to it first, but slides the ball out.
Bad mistake again. They're just getting a little bit mixed up at the Broncos with their dummy runners and whether the ball should be going out the back. But Darren Shaw has had a fine game. You've got to keep your eye on the ball at all times, even if you know you're going to be the dummy runner. Just losing the plot somewhat, the Broncos, but they won't mind at 12-6.
That's a lovely work with Gibbs and Hammond. Gibbs to Cunningham. Cunningham up the middle. Bounces off one, bounces off a second, injects now forward. Danny Arnold couldn't take it in anyway. I don't think Steve Presley had called the forward pass in any event.
Either way, Danny Arnold just couldn't get to it. But what a great break. He's such a magnificent footballer, the hooker Kieran Cunningham. But again, Saints are falling foul on the trap of forcing the pass when they don't really need to.
Peter Gill plays the ball. Junior Paul picks up, releases the pass. St Helens know that in a match here, I tell you that, the temperature is rising, certainly on the terraces, definitely out there on the field. A glorious, balmy evening as well. It's a lovely spring evening here.
Good run from Mestrov. The forwards are building in confidence. And it's the Saints defence that are only working hard in patches, not the full 40 minutes.
McRae trying to get the pass away and does. But the referee said it was a knock-on.
Well, did he go backwards? Maybe Kevin Langer got a fingertip to it, and if that's the case, yep, got a fingertip to it. It'll be Saints head and feet. And a relief St Helens side, because the Broncos were beginning to make inroads again.
Hammond to Gibbs. Off the shoulder, says the referee. And it was Greg Barwick zooming in there, and there's another mistake. And he's right, it was across the chest.
Yep. You're allowed to tackle, and that'll be the knock-on. Well, the crowd went berserk again. This is the tackle and the swinging arm there. You can do that if it's one-on-one, but you can't when another player is touching the man. That's why. But he was given a knock-on. That really should have been a penalty.
It should have been, but he gave the knock-on against the Broncos because it's Saints head and feed, and that's why the St Helens side is now in possession with Paul Newlove. McVie.
What a great job they've done on him, even though that was a bit high. They know he's the ball handler. They know he's the man that sets the forwards going. Ironic cheers from the crowd, but they've wrapped him up well. Tony Ray has done a great job on him.
Well, it's
one going low. You could see there that Duncan McRae went on to the face. Well, less than 4 minutes now. Sean McRae not happy.
Well, ironic cheers from the St Helens crowd, and maybe Sean McRae unhappy because that's their first penalty. This is Cunningham. First penalty against the Broncos after 37 minutes. 3-1 the penalty count as it happens. It's been a rough, tough game and played in the best possible spirit. But my word, it's a real contest. Newlove. Cunningham to Hammond. Langer's after him like a little terrier, gets it away to Leatham. Tony Ray got a hand on the big fella's ankle. This is Hammond again, and that's high. That's going to be a penalty. Big Peter Gill steaming in.
Little doubt about that. Hammond going over the top. He felt it, did Hammond. Now you see the big loose forward Peter Gill is a tall man, and he didn't miss. Well, surely Bobby Goulding will take the 2 on offer.
Tony Curry, the London Broncos coach, looking a little concerned that the second St Helens penalty has arrived and that Goulding is going to kick for goal. Peter Gill, the man who committed the offence, a high tackle. Goulding wants the 2 points on offer, and you'd back him to get them from this range. Goulding, the flags go up, gets the 2 points. 8-12 to the London Broncos, and I should have told you when Goulding kicked his first goal tonight, he went through the 1,200-point barrier in his rugby league career.
Well, that could prove a blessing in disguise, really, for the London Broncos. Giving away 2 points in perhaps of 6, instead of 6 there, and they will receive the football. They'll be quite happy to go to lemons at the half-time break, or oranges, or whatever they have, with a 4-point lead. So it's important that they keep possession now.
Just inside, or midway inside, I should say, their own half of the field now, the Broncos. Good strong run again, coming in from Rosalind. Good defence, though, from the Saints. That's 3 tackles spent. Langer had to reach out ahead of him to pick that ball up. Tackle from Derek McVie. Oh, that's a great run again from Borden. He's had a big influence on this team since he came on. As a replacement for Justin Bryant.
That's about his 4th clean break he's made.
Barwick has dipped it to the corner. It's a race for Minto. Minto! Oh, now then, there's a big decision. There is a big decision for touch judge and referee, and the referee wisely hands it on to the screen. The video ref will now decide, and he is now watching these pictures with us. Is this a try or not? Oh, yep. Yes, it is.
Quite clear.
They're celebrating the Broncos. We haven't had the decision yet, but the Broncos have seen that as you have. What's the decision? Try given. They knew. The crowd knew. They went quiet. Great try from Minto. Super speed from him. Great kick for the corner.
But put this try down to the wonderful run from Russell Borden. And the kick into the corner. It was lovely. Superb kick from Barwick. But this is what set it up. How many times have we seen St Helens go to sleep near half-time? Goulding did the job, brought him down, but they were very slow. Prescott could do little with this. It was an intelligent kick from the fullback Barwick. But what a finish. John Minto. Great stuff. Look at that. That is sheer skill. Weighted to perfection. Finished just as good.
And Barwick, who put the little kick into the corner, with another attempt here for the conversion. And isn't he kicking well today? Oh, I tell you what. London Broncos are delighted he's back in town. Saints mightn't be, though. They're trailing by 8 points to 18 at the break. And what's more, it's 3 tries to 1. Minto with a super try right on the stroke of half-time. And the St Helens coach, Sean McRae, has got a lot of work to do for the 100% league leaders as they take the half-time interval adrift by 10 points. London Broncos have really shaken them up at Knowsley Road. They lead 18-8.
dawn of time we came, moving silently among you, down through the centuries, immortals.
Ireland is out there somewhere, and he owes me for all those years.
He's about to face his most powerful enemy to date, Christopher Lambert.
There can be only one.
Mario Van Peebles in the premiere of Highlander 3 at 10 Saturday on Sky Movies.
Open your mind to a new kind of car. Stretch your imagination to espace versatility. Turn your thoughts to espace innovation. Broaden your vision. Escape with espace.
Stan Collymore. Even he doesn't get £1 million every time he plays. But you have a chance to kick for up to $1 million at a Premier League game with Lucasade Sport.
Ya levanta causani. Kuli levanta causani. Karona tico causani. Kira mantap causani. Kaya wali kasi kono wanyunan to mananichu. Ninyo ka mananilo siya alinta causachu.
Please help us in Christian Aid Week.
In 1899, Montana was an unspoiled wilderness, a place where a man could put aside the cares of civilization and discover his true self in the sanctity of nature. At least, that's how it used to be, till something better came along. Smooth-tasting Heineken Export, the world's favorite import, introduced to America in 1894.
If you passionately believe in what you're doing, you can achieve almost anything in life. We can have an idea in the bath in the morning and have it up and working by the afternoon. We like to think of Virgin as a flexible company, and I think American Express is very flexible as well. You can use the card to buy a CD, or you can use it to go off on a travel around the world.
Free phone 0800 525 150 and open your mind to more information.
It's 18 points to 8. The London Broncos are ahead at half-time. 3 tries to 1. The 100% league leaders, St Helens, have been shocked a bit by the ferocity of the challenge that they have got against the Broncos here this evening. Super League Live on Sky Sports tonight, and what a match we have for you. And have we got brewing up here the biggest story of the weekend so far? Only the second time this season that the Saints have been behind at half-time. Before that, of course, it was Wigan who led here at the break, but we all know what happened then on Good Friday. Robbie Paul of the Bradford Bulls is our special guest on the programme tonight. Robbie, can the Saints come back?
Oh, I think they can. I think the key will be Kieran Cunningham. If he gets his game going and he gets excited, he can really turn the game for them. Saying that as well, I think they need to get more ball to Newlove. He's showed that he can score from anywhere on the field, and we all know he can score from anywhere on the field. And they need to get the ball to him. They need the points.
And as far as Bobby Goulding is concerned, you are down there at pitchside. You're watching a little bit closer to the action than us two. Is he injured?
He doesn't look too bad, though. After he picked up the injury, he was just playing the low-key role. I think Bobby will come back into it in this game, because this is his home ground. He loves playing here. I think another big factor of the game is that the St Helens forwards, their big boys are starting to look a little bit tired.
You would say, I would think, that the Saints have started favourites, but the Broncos, it's been such a disciplined display from them.
Yeah, that is you always know that it's going to be the way our London Broncos play the game. They're going to just plug away, get a kick in. I've been a bit disappointed with their kick pressure. On the one instance that they did put a lot of pressure on, they come up with a try. So, I mean, that might be a part of their game that they'll be looking to improve on and excel in the second half.
Have the Broncos surprised you, the way they've come out and taken charge of this game?
No. When we played them, they led the game up until the late end of the second half, where we stole the game from them. They're a well-disciplined team, like you said, and they got big hearts, and they play a very Australian type of football, and they'll just plug away, wait for you to come up with an error, and then they got you.
Greg Barwick, his inclusion today is a big plus for them.
Yeah, to have someone who can, put points on the board like he's doing, those 2 extra points is half a try. It's a gift, and it means so different when you get the scores at the end of the day.
Well, Greg Barwick, Steve-O, he's had a big half, a big influence, hasn't he? He's kicked well, and the kick for the corner that gave us the try right before the interval, terrific skill from him.
Unbelievable. It was a great run by Borden, the substitute. He moved straight away. But he was thinking all the time what he had to do. Long ball out wide. And we said before the game there was always going to be a problem with this Saints defence. They think all they have to do is go through the big forwards because they know they're bigger and stronger perhaps than the Broncos. But he was thinking. They were just hanging back. It was St. Helens that were looking for the half-time break. They wanted the hooter to come, when really it should have been the London Broncos. They were taking a lead. They had a 4-point lead. They would have been quite happy to do that. But what happens? St. Helens say, oh, we'll sort it out at half-time. I think they will, but it depends on one thing. Is Bobby Goulding going to be fit? We talk about the kicking game. Greg Barwick has been absolutely tremendous. He chimed in from the three-quarter line, from the fullback, to make sure that they got off to a flying start, and he'll start to control the game. St. Helens coach Sean McRae really has to get them fired up. He's got to change your tactics. Bobby Goulding's got to start sending the ball out wide.
This try that was given, Steve-O, down to modern technology, because I reckon 12 months ago that would have been no try. That would have been given as a touch and goal. But the modern technology, the video ref, he looked at it, no doubts.
Well, we all know that, and that's why the refereeing standard is increasing, because it's the confidence. It's not only showing the referees and giving them confidence, it's showing the crowd that they are getting it right.
What about the players, Robbie? Are the players happy with this new technology? Because obviously, things like that, touch and go, and it goes the right way instead of the wrong way.
Yeah, well, it makes the game fair, doesn't it? When you get there and you know you've scored a try, but the refs don't see, and they call it a no try, you're going to be upset. So if you've got the technology there, use it. And if the game's been fair, they're playing the game within the rules, then you're going to be awarded your tries.
Yeah, indeed. Well, the modern technology is certainly proving conclusive in all of these big decisions that we're asking the officials of the match to do. Now then, let's take a look at some of the battles. In fact, the battle that we picked out for you before the start of the game. It was Goulding's early, Steve-O. Still his?
No, I don't think so. I think Kevin Langer grew in confidence as the game progressed, and I think that you can see he's taken on the defence a little bit more than what Bobby Goulding's done. Bobby Goulding taken the ball up on 3 occasions, and I think it was only one real break that Bobby Goulding really stretched the Broncos' defence. They're going through the game plan, and I'm sure that Sean McRae thought that game plan of using the big forwards close to the ruck would work, would drag them in, and then they could get it out to Paul Newlove. The only problem is they haven't been able to get it out. I think they've done a marvellous job of the London Broncos on McVie. He's a man that keeps a short ball. Well, if they're doing a good job like that, then the tactics have to change. And by changing that, they've got to start the link. And that's where Bobby Goulding's got to come into it. Long ball out wide, miss 3 men, and make sure that people like Newlove get it.
Fascinating second half to come then here at Nosey Road. The Broncos ahead by 18 points to 8 at half-time. Elsewhere tonight, there's a match in progress at Weldon Road, and Castleford are ahead by 20 points to 6 against Workington Town. So that's the way it stands at the moment in Super League, right up to date. And I wonder whether we are on the verge of seeing the 100% record of the league leaders go west here at Nosey Road tonight at the hands of the London Broncos. We're live on Sky Sports. Can the Broncos hold on? Will the Saints come back? Stay with us.
Someday I'm gonna write the story of my life. I'll tell about the night we met and now my heart can forget the way you smile at me. The sorrow when our love was breaking up, the memory of a broken heart, and later on the joy of making up, never, never more to part. There's one thing left to
so
do
long as you both shoved it.
before my story's through. I've got to take you for my wife, so the story of my life can start and end with you.
The Daily Express have asked me what I think of their new Monday sports section. It's 24 pages. They obviously mean business. Let's take a look. Well, a big spread on the cup final, as you'd expect. Reports, pictures, interviews, the full works. But there's much more. There's a little quiz. I'll come back to that later. Professional choice, I certainly like that. And a serious results page. Can't believe they've won. Cricket, tennis, racing, all the scores, all the stats, all very impressive. But what's this? The Alan Hansen column. Well, every week. Oh, well, I suppose you can't get everything right.
Express Sport with Alan Hansen every Monday, only in the Daily Express.
Have you seen the Express lately?
Driving away a new car is easier than you think. Watch carefully. This man's about to take a brand new Nissan off this forecourt in broad daylight. And so could you. With Nissan's no pounds down deal, you can lease a brand new car from as little as £149 a month. With no deposit. Think you can't afford a new car? You can with a Nissan.
Coming this summer on Sky Sports. Michael Atherton's England face the venomous strike force of the touring Indian cricketers. The best from the European Tour, and we go stateside for the US Open. Legendary Julio Cesar Chavez and Oscar de la Hoya meet for the fight of the decade, and Prince Nassim is back.
I'm just too good.
England prepare for Euro 96 with a showdown against Hungary and a tour of China. Gaza and Rangers aim for glory. There's midsummer motorsport madness and continuing coverage of the Super League. Hot summer sports on Sky.
One of the biggest halves of the season coming up for St Helens. They trail at half-time 18 points to 8. And it's the job now of St Helens and this partisan crowd to get themselves going in the second half and come back and win this match if they are to maintain their 100% record. Sun is going down here at Knowsley Road, but it's a glorious evening. And that sun is dropping down over the back of the stand away to our left. And so the London fullback, Greg Barwick, he should really have taken a pair of sunglasses out with him, because I fancy, Steve-O, Bobby Goulding will be peppering him with those bombs all evening from here on in.
Little doubt, but what a crunch tackle from McVie. Oh, Rosalind felt that, and he's still down in the background. It was one of the big ones of this season.
That's lifted the crowd. Will it lift the team? Russell Borden off, and Justin Bryant returns. Tony Curry is swapping and interchanging those two as this match progresses. Prescott picks up the kick forward on the bounce. Oh, great chase downfield, though. And it was led by Roslin. And he and Bryant, number 14, when he's been on, done a marvellous job.
They've worked well as a pack of the London Broncos outfit. We mentioned at half-time they've done a good job on the ball handling skills of Derek McVie.
Here is the big Australian again. He's looking round for support. It arrives this time from Cunningham. Now it's with Prescott. Scrambling defence from the Broncos. Tony Ray brings him down. Goulding punches his shoulders. Drags Sullivan back on the inside. Sullivan broke through one tackle, that was from Gill, but couldn't get away from Mestrov. Now Simon Booth.
Well, a bit better option on show there when Bobby Goulding was running the angles. That's how I can squeeze it.
Little dink over the top from Goulding. Oh, Junior Paul makes a mess of it. Arnold's after him, and Arnold clobbers him and then says, let's get on with it. They pat each other on the back. Great spirit.
Good kick, good chase, good tackle. Well, there's a bag of nerves out there, is Junior Paul. I'm not so sure that the London Broncos coach, Tony Kerry, will keep him out there. He's a man that Bobby Goulding has pinpointed perhaps to have a weakness. And maybe it might be a smart move for Curry to bring him off, get him substituted.
Good length on the drop out. Prescott gives it to Booth, who runs the ball back. Look at Barwick with the problem with the sun. Told you needed a pair of sunglasses this half. It's right into his eyes now. Saints, of course, winning the toss, as we told you before the match started. Local knowledge from Bobby Goulding. He knew that this sun would be low over the top of that stand second half. And the referee is very concerned about a player who's flat out and injured in back play. That's why he's held up that particular St Helens attack for the time being. It's little Kevin Langer, is it, who is down?
Well, you see how he put his head. Oh, I'm afraid that is not the textbook way to tackle, and you can see him go down hurt. The way to tackle is to put the head on either side and take the option there, and you can see that he went right into the ribs area. Let's hope he's okay. Well, there's movement in the legs. That's always a good sign. But like always, they're asking him to move the fingers.
And he is doing.
Going through the routine. Take the mouth guard out. Tend to think that should have been out before then, but it looks as though he's going to be okay. That's a wonderful relief.
It is indeed. And referee Steve Presley rightly holding up the play, because when a player goes down like that, it needs to be taken a look at, and they're going to take him off wisely, the Broncos, and replace him with Leo Dennever, who had quite an influence. Well, Langer says he wants to carry on. Dennever wonders what's happening. The boards are up. Tony Curry wants him off, and the message now has got to Langer. And so Langer will come off and Dennever will go on.
Well, that's
wise
the best
move.
Oh, yeah, that's the best thing. Don't take a risk.
Meanwhile, it's the St Helens side who are pressing that line with Goulding. Fires the ball to Newlove. Can Newlove get the ball out? It bounces. It comes back on the other side. And who picks it up? The London Broncos do. That's great defence.
Well, the St Helens players were saying that the ball was dragged out, and I have to believe with them. Looked as though there was a fingertip in there, pulling the ball, and there was more than one man in attendance. A lucky break for the Broncos. Still got that 10-point lead. There you can see. Fingers always in there. John Minto it was, I think.
Scott Gibbs wrestles the London Bronco to the ground. Big deep kick then from Barwick downfield. It's a great kick. It's turned Prescott round.
Kicking game's been superb from the Broncos, hasn't it?
And the Broncos are all up there, and the St Helens side are plodding back, and they're only now just getting to the scene of this play the ball. Maybe a bit of magic needed from Sullivan. Broncos were up and chasing that kick downfield. The Saints really were plodding then, Steve-O. It was almost like they were the defensive side.
That's the idea, isn't it? Greg Barwick knows that if he can turn even the fullback around, and he did that on that occasion, Steve Prescott had to turn around, get possession. And they look a little bit bedraggled, don't they? And that's another mistake. That'll be play on. Back on the inside.
Newlove it was who couldn't hold on. Newlove there doing the tackling on Tony Mestrov. Darren Shaw with that first run, met by Leatham. Here's Dennever. He's got Justin Bryant with him.
Well, Dennever is a man that really can produce the goods some individual skills. It's a wonderful stepper, and he loves nothing better than to just kick over the first line of defence and regather.
Ray, Denver again. McRae, he finds Barwick. Barwick to Tollett. Tackle had to be good and was from Chris Joint.
Spotted it well, didn't he, the loose forward? Knew that the ball was going to come on the inside. Here's a big one.
High kick from Barwick. Oh, Prescott takes it brilliantly. Sailed up there like a flying salmon.
Pretty to watch. Eyes on the football at all time. He's such a confident player.
Leatham, but this is great defence again from the London Broncos. Barwick has made such a difference with his kicking, not only from the conversions, but also from general play. And they've surrendered the possession again. Have the Saints. Broncos are back in control of the football with Mestrov.
Well, it was Derek McVie that tried to keep the ball alive. Didn't get much opportunity to do that in the first half, and on that occasion there was no one at home. Broncos gleefully accepted it. Then on the rack, Saints.
Tony Ray at dummy half. Denver, McRae waiting. 3 moving up in support of McRae. Round the back brilliantly to Tollett. Great pass.
Beautiful piece of football, Duncan McRae. They played him at fullback last week, and I thought he was a little bit lost, but in this position he's controlling things.
Oh, and again round the back of the man. They keep the movement going. They're playing very well. They're high on confidence. Barwick's through one, and he gets the try. Prescott missed the tackle, and Barwick with his second touchdown of the match. And he is delighted. There's smiles all round on the Broncos, but furrowed brows for Saints.
It's very rare you see the fullback Steve Prescott get stood up like this and just pushed away. Good work by Justin Bryant. He kept the ball alive, and look at that. Get out of the way. That was well scored by Greg Barwick. But look at the skills here. Duncan McRae's all skill. Plenty of enthusiasm. Step again. You could see how they hesitated. Kept it alive. Bryant says, let's get on with it. Out wide. Look at that. Get out of the way, Stevie boy. Tremendous work.
Well, the St Helens public have been watching the big screen on those replays, and that movement of play then drew applause for the Broncos. A great try from Greg Barwick. And now Barwick is the man who has the job of taking the conversion attempt, and he's kicked well all evening. 3 out of 3, and you would expect that he would make this 4 out of 4 the way he's been doing. Barwick pulled a hamstring at Easter. How expensive that might be at the end of the season, because he's been out for 4. Man of vast experience. Oh, I've hexed him. Pulls it wide of the post. First miss for Barwick, but 22-8. Big comeback wanted now by the Saints.
Well, there you see that the St Helens defence is all at sea. There was just one there. And once McRae kept it alive, it was only the scrambling defence, and you can see that the balance of Prescott is in no position. But let's not take anything away from Barwick. It's a good fend, good try. Saints have to dig deep now.
And here's a man who might be able to win it for them, Newlove, but haven't they watched the danger men well? They've blotted Joint out, they've blotted Newlove out, they might have blotted Parolini out up to that point, but he nearly got through. The forwards of the Broncos have laid the platform, but here goes Cunningham.
Well, he's the man that can get them out of it, but they've got to change the tactics. They're still using the big forwards, hoping for the break.
Matauti is on for Saints.
But get the ball out wide. Only on 2 occasions the entire game of Saints sent out a long ball and missed men.
Well, there's a long ball, and it was nearly the intercept. Minto was looking for that.
Perhaps the wrong time. But Minto nearly got that, and that would have been it, I feel. That would have been the ball game. I know we're only 8 minutes into the second half, but no one would have got anywhere near John Minto.
Joint breaking through. Great tackle back, though, on that occasion by Gill. Saints, though, haven't finished. Running it strongly here with Pickavance, who's on, and Pickavance who's worked the miracle of super sub in the past this season, gets them going again. Perolini drops it. It went backwards. Oh, referee's called them for a knock-on. That's harsh.
I'm not so sure it went backwards. It was a downward movement first. Okay, the ball did it on the point and come back eventually, but no control on it. Could referee in that, I feel, Steve Presley.
I think you've been at Twickenham too long, Steve-O.
Where's that?
Broncos will not be debating the issue. They're back in control of the football.
But I can't believe it, Eddie, that this St. Helens side think that they can still use brute strength to get through it, when they failed in 49 minutes to get through with brute strength in their forwards. Change the tactics now.
Well, Steve-O, I know for a fact that at Wembley, for instance, Sean McRae said to his players, or the message went out to the players, just play as we planned and it will come right. It did that day. He's obviously said the same again here to St. Helens tonight. Keep playing as we are and it will come right. Trust me, he's saying. 10 minutes second half, kick downfield. And Sullivan, but now they have been pinned for a swinging arm with Peter Gill. He said it's the second, Mr. Gill, no more.
This is the last warning. Swinging arm there, there's no doubt about it.
So the Saints are back in the Broncos half, and Matautia. Buzz goes round the ground when he gets it because of that. Cunningham nearly through. And again Cunningham, what a player this lad is. Tremendous enthusiasm from the teenager. Goulding, high on confidence, high on enthusiasm. Flattened though.
He did well then, he nearly lost it. Nearly disappeared out the back. Newlove
trying to use all the strength he has. Prescott's been replaced by Hunt. Crossfield kick from Goulding, looking for Arnold. Oh, it would have come off. Great tackle in the end on Danny Arnold as he received the ball, but it nearly came off for him.
Tremendous work there. McRae was super stuff, but what a great kick from Bobby Goulding. Well, we saw at Wembley that it was the kicks that got Saints out of a real hole, and then in a bigger one now at 22-8.
Their 100% record on the line. Ball is dropped. First knock on will play, says the referee. Listen to this crowd. They really let the referees know what's on here.
Lost control of it. There you see the impact. Not so sure that was forward, but he gave the other one 50-50. But he had no real control, but it was good defense. But let's see some moves other than just brute strength.
Perhaps we will now from Newlove. Little half break, but good cover defence from Scott Roskill. This is Chris Joynt. They're defending so well, though, the Broncos, as Saints are channeled up the middle. And here they go up the middle again with Matautia. Good job that an ankle tap came in from Russell Borden. The Saints haven't finished. Hammond back on the inside by Goulding. Off on the knees to Gibbs.
Back to 6.
6 to go. And Bobby Goulding's noticed and is telling his team 6 more chances here. Arnold, good tackling again though.
Is there any chance we can get a long ball out wide, please?
Cunningham to Hammond. Perolini makes a mess of it. Left the ball behind.
Well, I don't know what the Saints have been doing at training, but I suspect they've built a big brick wall out on the training paddock and said, let's see if we can run through it. It's brains that can win you this, not brawn. Not when you're so far behind.
Gill, 10 metres inside his own half of the field, dumped to the floor by Pickavance. Ray to Mestrov. Mestrov unloads again to Ray, standing. He had to take the tackle. Saints have made 15 handling errors to the 10 of London. Barwick, so important his kicks in general play. There's another one. It's split Hunt and Sullivan. And again, it's the Broncos who are moving up to cover this man who's got the ball, and Saints applauding.
There is 6 players who are still yet to get back from the man carrying the football. And they've played the ball about 3 seconds beforehand. A bit high there from John Minto, but they've got away with it.
Goulding. Goulding is leading by example as the captain, trying for the penalty from the referee, who's unimpressed. Pickavats.
Well, they're losing the cool now, Saints. Bobby Goulding's arguing with the referee and the judges. This guy's not. He wants to play football.
And the referee has got the Broncos for offside. Listen to the roars from this crowd. They're incredible here. Arnold's in all sorts of space on this near side. McRae wrestles Hammond to the floor. Perolini goes the wrong way as far as Arnold's concerned.
The Broncos down to 12 men. Darren Shaw is down injured, way back near the halfway line.
As Joint goes on one of the typical runs of his, they scramble across to keep him down. That's how close the Saints are. Goulding, oh, beautiful ball! And that's Booth. Simon Booth with the try right under the sticks. A hint, maybe, of a forward pass from Goulding, but he put the ball in front of the man who was tackling him, and we'll have to look again to see whether that was legal.
We'll see it here to the dummy. Oh, that's a forward by a mile. Deary me. They have got away with that, but at least they tried something, and the big fella is in for a try. Well, Simon Booth had to lean forward to get that, but he was lucky to squeeze in. Well, the crowd aren't claiming for this one, but good work by Goulding. At least they tried to take on the defence, and for once there was a man running forward. They're back.
Simon Booth with the try, but an element of a question mark about it. Bobby Goulding added the extras from bang in front. The Saints are back in the match at 14 points to 22. And Tolson Tollett goes off into the blood bin. Darren Shaw was helped off the field. The Broncos were down to 12 men as that attack built. Now then, Roslin is returned. We have quite a 25 minutes ahead of us, I fancy, because the Saints suddenly think they can win this match. McRae picked it up, and I can tell you the Broncos were furious with the referee, Steve Presley, when he awarded that try. They were all pointing at the spot and saying that was forward. And I think our pictures showed that they did have a point. Mind you, we would have heard the knocking of wood for the gallows for Steve Presley beneath us from this crowd had he disallowed that try for the forward pass.
It was a big call, wasn't it, by the referee, who's had a fine game so far. He's been pretty tense up there. But this Bronco outfit will not just lie down. 3 great runs from the forwards, and the way that this man's kicking, anything could happen. That wasn't the best there from Barwick.
No, it was straight down the throat of Anthony Sullivan. They have done a job on Newlove. I know he got a try in the first half, but haven't they snuffed the danger out from him? And Perolini. We've seen none of the marauding runs upfield from Perolini and Joint and company. We might see one here from Matautia. Not this time. Booth, try-scorer, loses the ball in the tackle. Big gasp of disappointment from the crowd. Steve Roslin, tackled by Newlow.
Another mistake, and that is proving costly. Getting close to midway through this second half. And I feel that London are quite happy just to drive forward and use the kicking skills of Barwick. There's the first one.
That drop goal, remember, from McRae was absolutely vital at Leeds last Sunday. I wonder if they're working the position for another. Tollett has returned from the blood bin. That change has been reversed by the Broncos. Here's Denver. Gill. He gets the pass away. Collision between McRae and Gibbs. McRae on his hands and knees gets a few more meters out of that. Denver. High kick across the face of play. Great stuff from the Broncos. They keep the ball alive. Crossfield kick then coming in from Pitt. Here's Alan Hunt. Halted.
Did well to keep that ball in. But Hunt was in a fine position.
Perolini turns in the tackle, gets it away to Hammond. This is Gibbs. Scott Gibbs gets away from Ray, gets the ball to Arnold. Arnold away from one, can't get through the next two though. There's a buzz every time Arnold gets the ball though, here at Knowsley Road these days. Saints now flowing forward, through the gap goes Pickavance, out wide the ball, and that's Sullivan, and it dropped off his chest. If he'd have taken that one in, he was a certain scorer.
Oh, dearie me, the best passage of play by the Saints by far. Alan Hunt come on as a substitute for Prescott. He chimed through, he made the opportunity. You can see the look of anguish, the twitch of the lip and the mustache from Sean McRae. And in that split second, two vital Super League points could have gone.
Broncos then back in possession. The sun is still hanging over the top of the stand away to our left and causing the Broncos defence a lot of trouble, but we haven't seen many high kicks in this second half.
No, because the message still hasn't got through to them. They still want to prove how tough they are and go down the middle.
Tommy Martin, number 20, has come on. The man who has had such an influence on so many games this season. He'll have to have a big influence on this one now. Denver, McRae. And the tackle is completed, and now it is a second time. The referee has got his hand up saying 5 tackles. He called held. The Bronco in this din, Duncan McRae, he didn't hear him. It's still with the Broncos, and it's still on the last tackle, and the chip over the top. There's danger here. Oh, that's well done by Booth. Certain try saver, because Darryl Pitt was after this.
It was a nice chip over, wasn't it, from Duncan McRae. He's had a fine game, but Booth came to the rescue. Pitt was nearly in. The tension is mounting.
Quarter of the match to go. Saints desperate for inspiration from somewhere. Goulding gets it out wide. Newlove escapes one. Nearly escapes two. Gets the pass away anyway. Chris Joint now. Sullivan in support. Grounded. Let's hear from the touchline. Alistair Mann and Robbie Paul.
Well, Robbie, this is absolutely incredible stuff. I mean, where is it going to go? What's it hanging on now?
Oh, the game's been played at the same intensity as the Cup final. It can go either way. St. Helens have the ability to win this game, and I'm sure that they're going to try everything to do so.
The noise here is incredible too. I think the St. Helens players are rising to it.
Yeah, just in the last 15 minutes, say, the crowd really picked up, and so have the players. They really want it, and they can taste it. It's just better, just up to them whether or not they're going to have it.
And what's impressed you most about London so far?
Oh, just that they're constantly plugging away. They've got a very low error count, and they're constantly just getting their sets done and getting the kick in.
Match is being played at quite a pace. Error count 17 to 10. St. Helens have made more, but it's a game of terrific intensity, and it was what was promised from this Super League. And I tell you what, Steve-O, the clubs and the players this season, they are delivering, and they're delivering it on a golden platter.
Tremendous stuff, isn't it? The skills on show today. Just a little bit too long, but they won't be too upset by that, even if though we see Greg Barwick just shaking his head. He wanted it to stay in the field of play. 12 times, eh?
That's a double act, yeah. 12 times. Great kicking from Barwick. McVie. He's been kept quiet as well, as you said earlier.
Yeah, they've done a good job on him.
Simon Booth is the man he has replaced, scorer of that try.
But come on, Bobby Goulding, it's time for you to start taking control, running the angles, get on with it.
Well, here he is. He gives the ball to Joint, who again goes up the middle. A vital ankle tap by Dinova.
Yeah, well, he did the run around and he gave it to Joint, but what was Joint doing? He was stood still.
Matautia.
No good putting a move on unless a man is running onto it.
Wonder if Bobby Goulding here is suffering from that crack he took in the first half. It's a high kick. Barwick's had to turn round. He fumbles it. Oh, I tell you what, Bobby Goulding this season has put some defences and some full-backs under pressure, hasn't he?
Well, he got to it, did Barwick. Didn't as though he was going to let that ball bounce. Just couldn't grab it in, but the pressure. Dearie me, the crowd, they are going bananas. Got his fingertips to it, the drop out. They're in no rush, London.
And that's why the crowd are booing. They know that the clock is counting down all the time. Barwick gets a thump up to the halfway line. Alan Hunt will launch another attack for Saints.
Now, Saints have to work the blind side and at least get a chance to get the ball out wide to the power of Newlove. They've got strength. Scott Gibbs and Paul Newlove, they're great players.
And they've got Pickavance as well, who'll drive it down the middle. Pickavance, substitute in all the matches in Super League so far. And that's Tommy Martin.
Lucky to get away without being penalised for a shepherd there.
Hammond comes back this way, keeps the movement going. McVie over the top to Gibbs. It opens up for Gibbs. Gibbs with a try. Well, they booed him before the match, but they're up on their feet now, and Gibbs is the hero. But the referee has gone for the screen. The referee is undecided. He's called for the screen. It's with the video ref. What's the problem that Steve Presley's seen? We couldn't see anything from up here, but we're behind the play. Presley was in front.
He's obviously been unsighted. They came across, you can see there, they moved out, Scott Roskill went through it. That's try time, no worries about that. The crowd, they're quite happy after watching the replay, and I'm sure that the official will be happy too. Well, they needed that.
Right, here's the decision. Try given. Bobby Goulding was already lining up the conversion attempt. Sean McRae had a smile on his face. I think he looked at the screen and he knew as well. Scott Gibbs with the try. And now then Goulding with this conversion that could put the Saints back to within 2 points. If this goes over, what a match we've got. Missed it. He knows that could be crucial. 18-22.
Well, Saints could be lucky there, and I think the man Arrow was used as the shepherd. He came back from the outside, and you can see the London players complaining, and that took off their concentration. The split second there, that was vital. They dropped their concentration and spoke to the referee rather than defend.
Bobby Goulding said before the kick-off to restart this match, 10 minutes to go. Well, he's got a little longer than that.
He lost control of it there, the impact. Tautier really give it to him, but he's had a fine game, Russell Borden. That's probably the first mistake he's made.
Well, they'll be grumbling and complaining, the Broncos, if they lose this. They've had a couple of tough calls from the referee, they will claim. But Gibbs has scored one to get the Saints back into this, and he's looking for more. Cunningham, dummy half. Joint. No discernible change in tactics, though. That ball went backwards. Cunningham.
What a fine game the hooker's had. He's tried hard. But at times I'm wondering whether he had PO because he had no support.
Matautia, support from Martin! Martin with the try! Tommy Martin did it against Wigan. He's done it again tonight. Sensational passage of play from Saints this. They've dragged themselves back up off the floor again.
Superb run, Matautia's strength. He keeps this ball alive. What a pass. That is great stuff. He's becoming the super sub at Saints, Tommy Martin. But look how the hands of the big fella Matautia. Oh, that is excellent stuff. Skills from the big fella. Look how he runs through. The impact, and then he has the mind and the presence to pass the ball. Great support. There hasn't been much of that from Saints today, but it was there from Tommy Martin.
Bobby Goulding will kick this goal, and if he does, he will give the Saints the lead for the first time. And we've got about 10 minutes left for play, and Saints have the lead. What a fight back. 3 tries in 13 minutes. Tommy Martin, as Steve-O said, the super sub for Saints this season, came on against Wigan, got a vital try. Scored against Oldham last Sunday, scored here tonight. And how priceless that one might be. The Saints now are piling in. Look at Goulding, he's playing like a man possessed. So's Matautia, so's Martin. They're rattled now, the Broncos, a match they appear to have in their pockets.
Just 10 minutes, that passage of play was sufficient. Trying to run with the football, their defence that was falling apart at times. It looks solid now. 2 points, that's what they've got in front. But don't think that the Broncos are done.
No, they played so well, but now they're behind by 24 points to 22. Alan Hunt, the Broncos are streaming up again, and it's the Broncos who come up in the wall.
Try to release him as quick as I can. Hunt has to play it, can't mess around.
Good defence in the St Helens quarter there by Darryl Pitt. Hunt spins off one.
He's worked well since he came on, hasn't he, Alan Hunt? It was a master stroke by Sean McRae, the Saints coach, to take off Steve Prescott and bring him on.
Cunningham. Here's Alan Hunt. Pickavance. Cunningham again. Matautia.
Will it be a bomb? And will it be to this man, Junior Paul?
No, it's a crossfield kick into space to eat the clock up a bit more. Sullivan was after it, but he would have had to have been a greyhound to catch that. Goulding just punched the ball out of play.
Well, probably for the first time in the game, Bobby Goulding has built-in confidence to start taking control. He wanted that ball. We saw 2 great tackles. He was fired up in defence, and it's things like that that just change the pattern of the play and change the pattern of his thinking.
The scrum goes down. Denver feeds. Out of the back of the scrum comes the loose forward Peter Gill.
Well, I think the London Broncos now have to start looking towards the individual brilliance, perhaps, of Leo Dinova. He's got the speed and the skills to get through the tightest of defences. What a great game this kid's had, Russell Borden. Came on as a sub and really changed the game around.
Gill, oh, he just manages to hang on to that. He does well. Hit him in the chest and he got it at the second attempt. Barwick looks up again, decides where to place the kick. Place it again between Sullivan and Hunt. Hunt will have to run it out past the wall of Broncos defenders.
What a tremendous pace this game has been played at. They've thrown everything, haven't they? The forwards have gone at each other. It's been a bone cruncher.
It's been a great match. Really has. Match of the day, and the scoreline really indicates that it is exactly the match of the day. Matautia. Still Matautia. This will be the great escape for Saints, won't it, if they win this? Oh, Hammond's kick, not the best.
Geez, you nearly put the mocker on him again.
I think Duncan McRae has got a sore hand as a result of that.
I know one thing, Sean McRae, the Saints coach, will not be happy with that. Why on earth do they want to attempt a little chip over the top when they've got to kick deep? They should have turned London around.
He's sending down the message, Sean McRae, about something or other.
I know what it'll be. Stop messing around and trying to be fancy when you're 2 points in front. Kick the ball downfield.
1 or 2 Broncos now on their haunches. McRae That's the Duncan variety. Gill, he's got Junior Paul outside him. Oh, Scott Gibbs, and he's hurt his arm. Scott Gibbs, in stopping Junior Paul in flight, has hurt himself here.
Good work by Peter Gill to send the winger away, but Scott Gibbs set to, and bang!
The elbow.
Oh, he bounced right on it. He's had problems with that elbow before. Let's hope he's okay, but what a cover tackle. A try-saver, if ever there was one. Was it the shoulder, perhaps? Well, he's
had problems with the arm, certainly, since he has been at St. Helens. And they're looking very carefully, because they know that, first of all, that was a great tackle to save what might have been a try. But they want him for the rest of the season. He put his weight on it. He's fit enough to carry on.
He was confident he had the strength there. He took the gamble rather than go low and make sure that the man couldn't go forward. But you can see he's, oh, the arm's hanging there.
Yes, he's in a deal of pain.
Yeah, surely they've got to take him off. He's just going to be a passenger. You can see the right arm is just hanging. He's trying to keep it close to his body, try to ease the pain.
4 minutes to go. McVie.
Possession is vital now for Saints. Run it through and then get the kick. If they mess around with a little chip over the top, Sean McRae, the Saints coach, will go bananas.
Goulding wrestled to the floor by Tolson Tollett. Martin, well, he decides he will eat up a few more seconds on that clock with a kick to touch. Nothing fancy about that.
Safety first. Good thinking. And in my opinion, good coaching. The message had got out.
Scott Gibbs leaves the scene. He arrived on the scene to 1 or 2 boos from this Saints crowd, but they're rising to him now. A try from him, and that try-saving tackle just a few moments ago in which he was injured. Apollo Perolini comes on to replace him, and the Broncos have thrown the ball out. Great pressure placed on the Broncos, though.
Bad mistake by Scott Roskell, but they're in that situation with less than 3 minutes remaining to try anything. Try to get the flying winger Junior Paul away. He's got speed, but you've got to make sure that the ball hits the breadbasket first.
Goulding from the back of the scrum to Matautia. Good tackle coming in on him. Now Joint. Roskell made the tackle on Matautia's in there again, the number 22. They're 10 metres short of the line, the Saints. A try here will surely win the match for them. Goulding thinks about switching the direction of the play. 2 Broncos players had moved up to cut the long pass down. Hunt. Good defence again. Hunt's keeping the legs going. They hold him up only just. Cunningham. Hammond. Back to McVie. Last tackle here for the Saints.
That'll be back to 6.
And it is. 6 to go. Chris Joint picks himself up. Sullivan trying to go on the outside around John Minto, who wouldn't be shrugged off. Well, they've been taken close once or twice this season, the Saints. Halifax were only just beaten by 2 points. Pickavance tried the second effort. That's how close they are. They're camped on the Broncos line. And there is Hunt, nearly through off the shoulder of Hammond. Junior Paul will pick up.
He'll play the first knock on. This could be the last throw of the dice for the London Broncos. The Saints pack taking their time, keeping it alive. But why? In such a good position and 2 points in front, they could have just set up Bobby Goulding, a drop goal, perhaps. Either way, they've missed their chance.
But it's good defence now from St. Helens. They're trying to keep the Broncos penned down there in their own quarter. They're managing it so far.
Bobby Goulding gone back in the sweeping role. He's going to make sure that there's no chip over the first line of defence.
And Alan Hunt is standing behind him. Here's Junior Paul. Danny Arnold, that's a great tackle on him. Dinova, Tony Ray, back to Dinova. He's surrounded by red and white shirts, Leo Dinova. Matautia lying on, gets away with it. Ray to Gill, long pass out wide. Barwick, that kick came back off the backside of a Saints player. Barwick's after his own kick through. Alan Hunt tidies up the danger and says, let's just take our time. Sullivan. It's all in the hands of the timekeepers now. There was a lengthy stoppage in play, of course, because of the injury to Kevin Langer. New love, they'll surely just work out this set of 6 Saints. Nail-biting time for the St Helens and London Broncos supporters.
Been a tremendous game, hasn't it? Full credit, though, to this guy. That's play on. One-on-one. It's no good the hooker looking at the referee saying I had it stolen. You're allowed to do that.
He's got 6 extra tackles, though.
Fortunately, it just came in a forward direction from the Londons. See there, it's deemed that it's a knock-on, which it is. Couldn't get it. But it's been a hard road for Saints. Full credit to them for their stamina and their mental toughness to come back.
And their fight back, it was brilliant. And that's a great run from Matautia, who wants this loose ball. The Saints do in the shape of Perolini. Another 6 to go.
But why on earth are they trying to pass the ball in a situation like that? Seconds remaining.
McVie over the top. Sullivan in and out. Sullivan for the corner. Drop the ball. Drop the ball.
He'll go to the screen for this one.
Time off again, and we're back on the screen. Goulding says it was a try and is celebrating.
Well, I think it's a little bit premature here. I think you'll find that Sullivan loses it. Yep. It was a great tackle from Greg Bowie. That was a superb tackle. It'll be a tap on the 20.
All eyes are on that screen. No try. 20-meter place kick. And the Broncos knew that. It's all too late. The referee hears the siren, blows the whistle. It's all over. Sullivan, no try. Goulding and Alan Hunt know how close they were to losing that 100% record at the top of Super League. Newlove set us all off. Greg Barwick can't believe that this match has slipped away from the Broncos. Such a big effort. They led for so long to within 12 minutes of the end. And then the Tommy Martin try and the Goulding conversion won the match for St Helens.
You seem like a really nice person, and I don't want to offend you.
Ooh. This doesn't sound like the usual mindless, boring, getting to know you chit-chat. This sounds like you actually have something to say.
Is that a fact?
John Travolta heads a star-studded cast in the encore presentation of Quentin Tarantino's Academy Award winner, Pulp Fiction, tonight at 10, Sky Movies.
I thought I should get into shape to tell you about the gorgeous course of sport, so I insisted on coming to this luxurious health farm. Well, I'm not paying. And after 40 hours of open nail surgery and a lot of massage, hi, I'm feeling good. So, right arm up and point to spoiler. Right arm down to body-colored bumpers. And for the posterior, sit on sports seat and stretch to sunroof. Phew. Am I perspiring?
Miss Wax, time for your colonic irrigation.
More like time to test this sporty engine.
The new Corsa Sport from Vauxhall. The small car with the big personality.
This man has a distressing medical condition. He's been undergoing weekly treatment, allowing him to enjoy a perfectly normal life. His condition is dandruff. His treatment is Nizoral dandruff shampoo. Because Nizoral has a patented ingredient that targets and prevents the main cause of dandruff. Nizoral dandruff shampoo. First aid for dandruff.
Kuli naman tagausan eh. Karon na tiko kausan eh. Kira man tapos kausan dyan eh. Kaya wali kasi naman yun ang tamo na nicho. Ninyo ka man na nilo siya alin tagausan dyan.
Please help us in Christian Aid Week.